What's up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video, and this is the SNA podcast for the AEW Dynamite edition on January 8th, 2024. I mean, what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, like we're gonna be talking about what exactly went down. Even though it didn't have that much matches, and it was like looked like if it was an hour show rather than 2 hours, but still was really great, especially at the end of the show because we got the return of this guy that's on my shirt that I wore for Halloween back almost 2 years ago when I was dressed up like the cleaner himself. And let's just say, not only we just saw his return, we saw him did some very unrealistic things like in AEW tonight, and we saw the impossible happen as well, like with one of his great rivals, what they call join forces with him when the former his former allies, now rivals, and no, I'm not talking about the elite, then came out and tried to outnumber him, I guess you could say. Well, I'll say one in particular used to be an ally, but now he's arch rival, given that he stabbed him right in the back, and literally onto that note. But before we get into that, I'm going to get started with Will Ospreay, getting into the ring because he have a match against Buddy Matthews. And, man, this match was totally like a main event level contest. But maybe it's for the best it didn't get the main event, right? But I would give it. Well, I give it. I'm sorry to the main event. I'm sorry for the third straight or fourth straight night in a row since AEW Wrestle Dynasty. I give two matches, either the bronze trophy or the silver or even the golden trophy. But since this was almost as great as Casino Gauntlet match, this, I would give it the silver trophy of the night along with the main event as well. But we're gonna get in the match with fans start chanting Ospreay, 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 Ospreay. And I was like, if this doesn't show the sign that Will Ospreay is not over 2025 so far, I don't know what else to tell you, because it seems like he is ready to become world champion. Even though maybe it's in storyline and in perspective, I don't think they should hurry up and put the belt on him. Maybe when that time is right, when he does get another shot, and I hope he does win that AEW World Championship. If when he does, but they say you cannot win them all. But this is where we got them going for a wristlock war onto this match. This is where we got the husband of that mommy girl, then gets dip into the right side to the left side. When he tried to go for a headlock on the Ospreay, but Ospreay shoulder brought him down. But this is where Buddy Matthews shoulder tackled him. But this is where we got Ospreay somehow got back up amazingly, which I don't know how he did. This is where he had onto Buddy Matthews, but it's where he gets thrown right to the top corner side. He gets shoulder tackled by Buddy Matthews, with Ospreay trying to do it to him. It's where we got Ospreay to try to go for Os Cutter when he got back up and did a duck maneuver when Buddy Matthews tried to go for clothesline. It's where we got Buddy Matthews try to go for what do they call a backslide, but it's where then they start going for roundhouse kicks right into each other. This is where we got let's see yeah, this is then they both stare a glance right into each other. This is where we got we're okay, you think that you're in my level, bruv? But your chest, yeah, again, where it go for a grapple again. It's where then it was Buddy Matthews that impressively got the offense, and this is where he held on to him until the referee counted to 3.5. And you said, and they finished chop right onto the chest. This is where Ospreay's this is where referee's you better be careful doing that because next time you might not be lucky. This is where we got Buddy Matthews throw Will Ospreay right into the throw him right to the left side, try to close down out of the ring, but he gets flipped right over right into the in the left side. That's where he hit the chop right into his chest, which he must have got to the number one spot. Where's where Buddy Matthews then went right into the right side. That's where then he tried he knocks down Will Ospreay right to the left side, but this is where everyone tried to go for a dive. Somehow, Will Ospreay got back in the ring here, sliding Hurricane Rana, which it was looked pretty impressive because he sent Buddy Matthews right to the left side. It's where we got Will Ospreay to hit a suicide dive. This is where he's like, I only got one more thing that I need to do. This is where fans start chanting "bruv," like because that's Ospreay's catchphrase that he normally uses in AEW. This is where we saw what's his name, Will Ospreay throws Buddy Matthews right to the left side. Then he tried to go for a phenomenal elbow or for whatever you want to call it. That's where we got Buddy Matthews to move out of the way. Snap mirrors him. He goes for a leg slide kick right into the spine onto the aerial assassin. This is where he goes for a leg swiping kick again, right, this time in the top corner side. Must be double lucky. He found the double low car. But he hits a splash when he went right to the right side to follow up with. But he only got him a 2.4 count until Ospreay kicked out of it. This is where we got Buddy Matthews and going for a headlock right onto what's his name onto Will Ospreay. This is where he goes for but go for like a half. What's that called? A half guillotine. So that's where we got. The commentators started bringing up about what happened to Will Ospreay about 10 days ago at the last pay-per-view of AEW's in 2024, and that was World's End against Okada, which he was unsuccessful to become the Continental champ. This is where then both men hit a double crossbody right to each other, but this is where they managed to get right back up. Will Ospreay goes for that springboard flip enziguri kick that would go like something similar to my signature move. That's where then we got Will Ospreay right to the upper left side, where he gets foot right over the top corner side. He hits a phenomenal elbow, like which he was trying to do at first, but this is where it was unsuccessful at first, but it was a guaranteed, considering when you hit successfully, like unsuccessfully, it's going to be a guarantee the second time, I should say. This is where we got Will Ospreay. Then was hyped up. This is where then he was waiting for Buddy Matthews to get into the corner so he can hit his whatever move he has in store against the Will Ospreay. This is where he try to go for a boot. Well, this is where Buddy Matthews can go for a knee right into the back. This is where he try to go for a backstabber, a backstabbing back suplex or a backbreaker, backstabber suplex, like a lumbar check. That guy that the Hurt Syndicate used to had his in their group and that other company, but when they were known as a different version of the Hurt faction. But that's where we got Buddy Matthews and going for a springboard flip into a dive right onto wasn't it Will Ospreay throws the aerial assassin right back in. That's where Buddy Matthews tried to go for a claws. Oh no, he goes for a meteor, actually knocking down Will Ospreay impressively, which I never thought he actually would pull that off. But it's where fans start chanting, "This is awesome," and I totally agree with those AEW Galaxy fans and the Assassinators. That's probably in attendance in the show in Tennessee. But it's where we got what else happened. It was That's where we got one thing. Buddy Matthews pick up Will Ospreay. This is where he tried to go for that pump handle Murphy's Law or Matthews Law because he's no longer a Murphy. But it's where Will Ospreay elbows him, but he ends up getting boot right to the face by the House of Black member. But it's where Ospreay boots right back because it's like the rule of self-defense. But it's where Buddy Matthews they hit a knee strike like to add some cool measure. But it's where we got a leg swipe kick by what's his name? Will Ospreay. It's where we got Ospreay to try to go for an Os cutter. But it's where we got Buddy Matthews threw Ospreay face first right into the right side onto Allen the announce table. That's where Buddy Matthews like bye-bye, Aussie. Like if that's really your real name, is where then or Ospi, like whatever you want to call yourself. That's like which somebody does not know how to read. They probably would pronounce Osprey is Osprey. Like now to think about this, where we got That's where Buddy Matthews did apparently another visit to Osprey, but he ends up getting hit with an Os cutter out of nowhere, like more than that three certain letter maneuver, which I'm not sure if I should mention right here on an AEW video. But it's where we got fans are chanting AE dub like if it's EC dub all over again because every time someone says a W, they say dub for short, which I don't know what's the reason, but it's where we got Osprey hit the springboard I made my kick like but matches along with a Os cutter that got him like the third time's the charm because the second time was the guarantee. And and he found a card that which did gonna guarantee him a third time's the charm is where Osprey tried to take out the elbow pad like with him pulling on his elbow pad is where he tried to go for a hidden blade, but Buddy Matthews ducks out of the way once he was coming his way. This is where he gets hit with a pop up knee strike, but this is where he gets hit with a blade, hidden blade right onto Will Ospreay, which was which the tables have turned like very quickly, less than 2 seconds, and it was a guaranteed because like in the rule book, if it worked the first time, it won't be the guaranteed the second time. But or if he did do it, which Osprey did, if he didn't do it at first, which he didn't, like it means he's gonna work the second time. But this is where, but it's where we got Will Osprey started kicking him right into his head like repeatedly. This is where we got Osprey to hit a big forearm strike, uppercutting him in the process. And Buddy Matthews will try to do that for himself, of course. But it's where Buddy Matthews and go for a roundhouse kick, stop right in the gut, and then stop him right to his foot. It's where I started kicking him right into the midsection repeatedly. It's where Buddy Matthews like, I've waited for far too long for this moment. This is where Osprey tried to go for an Os cutter for the fourth attempt, but this is where we got Buddy Matthews move out of the way. And where he hit like a reverse version of a GTS version. Like and a big of the head maneuver. This is where he followed up a foot curb stomp, like if he's his teammate, like his former teammate. Let me rephrase that, not his current one, because that's Malachi Black. But let's say this wrestler that wrestled outside of that company was last name was that name that Malachi has, but it's a totally different person. But this is where we got Buddy Matthews trying to go for like a high flying maneuver. This is where he gets hit with a Styles Clash by Osprey. This is where then Osprey didn't try to go for a pin like he did to Kyle Fletcher back a couple weeks ago, or almost a couple weeks ago, back 10 days ago against Buddy Matthews. Not Buddy Matthews. What I'm talking about. He is wrestling Buddy Matthews. I mean Kyle Fletcher, just where we got where Buddy Matthews was barricading up, kneeling down, is where he I care no more. That just put me out of my misery. I don't work for live. Everybody gets a 1, 2, 3. Winner of this match, Will Ospreay. Which are the aerial assassin, which he probably is an assassinator as well. But it's where then Will Ospreay then name drop Buddy Matthews' name, like from the other company's name, and he called him Buddy Murphy. Like, give it up for Buddy Murphy. And then that's where I was like, he really just called him his name from the other company instead of his name outside of it, which is Buddy Matthews, of course. I'm like, and that's why fans are cheering because they don't really care. Like, despite the blunder, maybe not, maybe he just did that on purpose. But this is where fans start chanting "Buddy" either way. Like, this is where us was like, they were like he's so if you if you could be good like with somebody else around, like you can do it on your own. And this was I faced you and Brody King, and y'all. The number one thing y'all didn't do in a match against me is at the point, like in both y'all's future, like if you gentlemen want a single go, like you're the if you want more than singles go, like you got that coming anyway. Like, but he was like, and this way is like, this way then he did say like, well, Osprey then offered him like some help, like for being like a good friend, like which he's a former rival. This was like, he was like, but this was like, I hope this is the last time we encounter each other against one another, because because if you need any help from me, like just give me a call. And this is where then he didn't offer him his hand, like a handshake, of course, which we thought him shook hands and gave each other their respectful was that gestures, I guess you could say, yeah. But what are your thoughts what's your thoughts on Osprey and Buddy Matthews match? And do you think this was the match of the night, or do you think this was like someplace spot like your favorite Super Ninja Assassin would think? Let me know in the comments down below. But this is where we got let's see. And this is where then we got. But this is where then we got. They showed a vignette of the what happened at Wrestle Kingdom this past Sunday, which it showed the likes of Konosuke Takeshita against Tomohiro Ishii, and then we got Brody King against what's his name? We got Ricochet against Zack Sabre Jr., Takeshi against Tomohiro Ishii. Who was Brody King against David Finlay, Ricochet versus Zack Sabre Jr., and Willow Nightingale against Athena, Mama Watanabe, and also what's his name? And what's her name? And Athena. Yeah, and Cephalophone and Mercedes Moné against Mina Shirakawa, which she said like, I told you that I was gonna be a three belt. Like, well, I got an extra one, so you might as well call me 4 belt, which I would totally agree on. Like, yeah, like us Moné makers, like we're agreed that she was going to win and become triple champion. This is where we got the irresponsible EVPs then to show that they're the new IWGP Tag Team Champions, which I guess I'll give them a thumbs up for that, like for the Young Bucks. And also, we got Kenny Omega. They showed him like in a bloody mess defeated Gabe Kidd, which I made a review on all those matches, except for talking about about that Luchador Gauntlet match and the IWGP Tag Team Champion. I never got a chance to talk about that, but this is where we got. But this is where we got the private party came out because they kind of got they did a celebration because they successfully defeated their match against the. That's where. This is where then we got what the private party then did a little celebration on stage because they successfully defended their tag titles back in Collision against Lio Rush and Action Andretti, fair and square. They threw a party with inviting all the type of ladies in their little, I guess, their VIP room, I guess you say, even though it's outdoors. But that's where they're what they call their I guess their bouncer then had the red rope to let all of them in. This is what private parties like yeah, like this past Saturday on Collision, your boy made. That's where. It was like because like we made history because this is what brother Zayd said is like because this is our first your boy part like defend our very first tag and a simulcast like show like on both TNT and Max. This is where like we were the first ever tag team champions that defend those titles on Max and TNT simulcastedly, and this is where then I had to say like yes sir while saying a yes sir to them. This was like we walk into Charlotte as your all elite wrestling tag team champions, and we left Charlotte as still remaining your reigning defending tag team champions. And this is where fans are cheering because they like this. The sound, but before I can even continue, this is where we started hearing some very similar music, which is very catchy, which is the song We Hurt People. And it was, yes, sir, man, the Hurt Syndicate. And this is where they start, teasing like a tag team feud against these guys, like for those tag. And I was like, with all due respect, and I hope that MVP don't take this offense while I say this word in general, like you did to that nerdy journalist dude over at the other company. This where MVP's like, yeah, it's a celebration. Like y'all know how to party, boys. And this where they're like, yeah, like I guess you could say this where, and this where MVP's like, yeah, like well, we know much about partying as well. Like, and we handle business all the time. And this is where the Bobby Lashley, I was like, when he came in looking very happy when he saw the females. This is where I was like, like this is where I was like. This is where I was like like let's hope it don't be like at the other company with him having a lot of wham in, like my boy the Great One would say, because he always attracts to him. This is where then we got private. I didn't say like after that, like we're not just all business. This was like okay, like my bad, Montel. This is where. And this is where MVP was like, yeah, this VIP stats in the red velvet rope. Like, I invented all this, little guys. Like, yeah, like, how about we like raise the toast like to Private Party? And this is where I was like, even though as much as I'd like to see them be in a tag team feud, I just don't think it's the time yet because considering they're more like main event level kind of wrestlers right at the moment, trying to look for a singles champion. But and this is where we got MVPs are complimenting how Private Party is a young, successful tag team that just successfully defend those tag team titles against Top Flight, or not Top Flight. It was Action Andretti and Leo Rush. That's where the MVPs like, and yeah, give it to the Hurt Syndicate as well. Not to mention and it's where then Bobby Lashley's like, yeah, by taking those tag team champions. But it's where we got both Isaiah Cassidy and Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. And then we look at him serious by taking off the shades. Like, okay, like it's one thing of inviting y'all to our party, but like when it comes to you talking about like taking our tag titles, then we have something to discuss about. But that's where we got the Hurt Syndicate heading out to the ring because Bobby still have his match against Mark Briscoe. And yeah, let me tell you, this was totally good. This is where it's going to be getting the I'll say the what's that called, the bronze trophy of the night. This is where then got things started like with Mark Briscoe coming in the ring like his usual hype, like country dog self. This is where he barked himself all the way to the ring. This is where then that's where he started hitting some of his kung fu, which it's called a word that kind of sounds offensive with someone like me would say. Hopefully I didn't make no references about the R word, but this is where we got Mark Briscoe trying to go for a knife edge chop. This is where we got him going for a repeat second time, which he got the second place spot, considering that Will Ospreay gets number one for hitting that big sting chop for one. This is where Bobby Lashley, once he caught Mark Briscoe trying to go for a clothesline, he caught him. It's like not one, but two face plants right into the face, and followed that up with a suplex onto the former Ring of Honor champion. This is where we got the former multi-time world champion that spears Mark Briscoe right into the bottom right side, then hits a spinning neck breaker right into the middle of the ring. It's where then we got Bobby Lashley then was like, this is my ring. This is my show, Mark Briscoe. You should go back to that other show that's very relevant. This is where he hits the Dominator right after he said it. It's where then MVP was bragging about his Hurt Syndicate partner, Bobby Lashley, being the Almighty, and he always have been, like which we all knew he had that name ever since he was at the other company. But this is where we got Bobby Lashley to throw him right to the top, upper left corner side. But this is where Mark Briscoe started doing his kung fu by hitting some uppercuts and some chop cuts. This is where then we got Mark Briscoe trying to go for a clothesline, but he ends up getting hip suplex by the Almighty One. This is where he sent him right to the bottom corner side. This is where then one half or 1/3 of the member of the people that love, the businessmen that love hurting people, which I don't know what's their purpose of doing. But that's what Bobby Lashley then described. Bobby Lashley is a Mack truck with no brakes, which where's that probably like a true statement, like what he just made with the former world champion. Just knocking Mark Briscoe all around the ringside area like a train, like a runaway train off the tracks. But this is where we got then we got Bobby Lashley. Then Uranagi slammed him right to the barricade, and I believe even on the announce table, which I was about to say, like, how come that did not explode it? Even though like Mark Briscoe don't weigh that much, but this is where he started choking him right to the bottom corner ropes, and this is where we got a half partial powerful force in all of professional wrestling. That's where, but this is where it was not really the powerful force, only just more of a what's that word? The most powerful bonus of all professional wrestling and probably the Hurt Syndicate's eye because Bobby was still winning. This is where then you got Bobby Lashley then start showing some smiling enthusiasm in his face. This is where we got Bobby then go look under the ring. This is where then it's where he tried to see like. It's where he saw Mark Briscoe went under the ring. This is where he gets whacked right. Knew he gets whacked right to the face. That's where the MVP's like, did you see that? Like, this fool nearly got DQ'd, and he rhymed right there, sort of. And that was definitely true. This is where we got. And look, MVP to start hilariously by pointing out that Mark Briscoe should have been disqualified. And I was like, maybe true because he knew he got into contact with Bobby. And this is why I started cracking up with him, pointing that out to Antonio Schiavone and Excalibur and them. And Matt Menard as well. That was also a third comment. This is where I started dying with laughter right here. I was like that's where the commentators are like, well, a referee didn't see like this where my MVP ensured that the referee did see it, that they didn't want to do his job. That's where we got Mark Briscoe and rakes Bobby in the eyes when he tried to put him in the fireman's carry, send him face first right into the ring post. That's where Mark Briscoe then going for what they call a cannonball right off the top rope. That's where they already started going for fist bumps right onto each kid that was watching. This is where we got what happened next? But this is where we got Mark Briscoe hits the Froggy Boa, which he goes for the elbow drop right into the midsection onto Bobby. This is where he tried to go for a pin. But this is where Bobby kicked out exactly at 1.8. But that's a very rare number that somebody will kick out of. That's why the MVP like, of course he was going to do that because he's the Almighty. And I was like, fair point, because you're not going to easily going to beat Bobby Lashley just by doing one move. But that's where Mark Briscoe tried to go for a splash, despite him not giving up at that point. But where we got him going for an elbow strike right to the face onto the former Ring of Honor Tag Team and World Champion, and then boot right to the face where Mark Briscoe tried to go for it one more time. But he got triple curse when Bobby Lashley was nowhere around. This is where Bobby then ends up spearing him. This is where we got Bobby Lashley hit the one single claw Uranagi slam, and then put away Mark Briscoe with the hurt lock. Then put what's his name, Mark Briscoe with the sleeve. Where Bobby Lashley's music started playing, this is where Shelton Benjamin then came in and started throwing some right hands to the face of Mark Briscoe. I guess their rivalry will never end, like even in AEW. But this is where we got Private Party came in to save the day. So I was like, something tells me before we do get a tag team match, we're going to be doing like a 6-man tag match, like in down the line. And do you think that will be the case? Or do you think it's going to be for a tag team championship? And do you think Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are the perfect guys to go after for the tag titles at this time? As much as I would like to see that, like the young fanboy into me, like with the Almighty and the standard of excellence, like being in the tag team division, winning tag team gold, but I just don't think that's the time right now. I think they should be going after for championships, like whether if it's the World Championship, the International Championship, the Continental Championship, or even the TNT Championship. But let me know in the comments down below about that. But this is where we move on, and we got the AEW Gauntlet match, which whoever wins gets a shot at Jon Moxley's championship, which is in the briefcase held hostage. This is where we got was it my boy? Yeah, the Bang Bang. What was it? Switchblade Jay White, if I'm mistaken. But that's where he took on the cowboy that calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea. This is where then they showed him and that little what's that Titantron screen image, where he's drinking a bottle of whiskey while burning Swerve's house, which they always show when he makes his entrance after they show him riding on that horse that's likely his pet, which I totally forget what the horse's name is, but. This is where we got the Switchblade and the cowboy that calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Then stare down a little bit. This is where Jay White's like, like you want that AEW World Championship much as I do, huh? Am I right? Right. You want to say, I don't just want it. I need to have this championship. And I need to get past you. This is where Jay White's like, no, you don't get past me. I like to see you try. This is where he's this is where he started pointing at, poking fun at him, on how much of a weak one is. But this is where he ends up, getting his hands pushed off by Heyman out of pace. This is where Jay White hit a knife edge chop Jay White did the Hangman. Hangman did right back to Jay White. This is where they're going to chop off. But they couldn't beat the likes of of with it, Will Ospreay and Mark Briscoe, which Briscoe got number 2, while Ospreay got number 1. Well, they tie at number 3 right here, but it's where we got Jay White to go for a knife edge chop right onto Heyman Adam Page. It's where Heyman goes for a headlock. This is where we got Jay White goes tipping to the left side to the right side. This is where Hangman Adam Page shoulder tackles him right into the ground. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Jay White kicked out of it. This is where he tried to go for a knife edge chops repeatedly. This is where we got Heyman Adam Page then picks up Jay White, start elbowing him right to the head, hits him knife edge chops. This is where he dips him right to the right side to the left side. This is where he goes for a wrist lock, then try to go for a fallaway slam, but it's where he gets wheelbarrowed pinned off the middle of the ring. This is where we got. This is where Heyman Adam Page try to close on Jay White, but this is where Jay White throws Heyman Adam Page out of the ring. This is where then Jay White then try to close on him out of the ring. This is where Heyman Adam Page then what's that called? Hit him right in the midsection. This is where he try to go for what's that called? What's that buckshot lariat, which it nearly got a Blade Runner by my boy Switchblade Jay White. This is where Hangman Page amazingly got out of it right there, and I didn't even know it, so it's absolutely true. And I'm saying something that was right, but it's where Jay White got up Hangman Page, going up right up onto that exact same corner in the bottom left side, upper left corner side. Hits a suplex. This is where we know who number 3 was. There was none other than that brainwashed Weasel himself. And everybody did not like that, thanks to him stabbing Bryan Danielson in the back, and that is none other than Wheeler Yuta. This is where he came out, and this is where Wheeler Yuta tried to come in and bring some offense in, but this is where he ends up being the target. Once both Hangman and Jay White came, but this is where Jay White, once he hit his move on him, this is where he tried to go for a pin, but Hangman stopped him before it was over. This is where I'm like, don't you touch anything. Don't you do anything unless I'm in the ring, what I'm even saying right now. But this is where we got Hangman Adam Page to pick up Jay White. Jay White to go for a knife edge chop. This is where we got Hangman Adam Page and throws Jay White right to the left side. But it's where he gets ducked when he tries to go for a clothesline on him. It's where he tries to go for a crossbody, but he ends up picking him up into like a power slam, but it turns into a fallaway slam. This is where we got Hangman Adam Page then went right to the bottom left side. They were waiting for Jay White to go to the upper right corner side. They had a clothesline onto Hangman Adam Page. It's where we got. But this is where we got Hangman Adam Page throws Jay White right to the bottom left side. This is where then he hits the clothesline onto him. This is where he started fighting the Switchblade men like if it's a one-on-one match, like rather than being a multi-man gauntlet match. But it's where Hangman Adam Page then throws Jay White right to the bounce right off. It's where he lands crashing right into the winner supplied corner of the turnbuckle on the upper right side. Is where we got Hangman Adam Page got Jay White right to the top corner side. He's really about to take a page out of Jericho's playbook like we normally do. A springboard clothesline. But at first, he ducks out of the way from the first attempt onto this is where he ends up hitting Wheeler Yuta. This is where he didn't try to go for again. But it was successful this time for the next time. But this is where we got to see who's number 4 when the top went out. And it was none other than the man, and probably the only wrestler that has made it back from Tokyo this past weekend. And that was Ricochet, which that's one of the AEW wrestlers that did not score the victory on the crossover pay-per-view. And speaking of which, this was technically the post-show episode of Dynamite after AEW / New Japan's Wrestle Dynasty. But since it's primary New Japan's pay-per-view, so I would say it's kind of the post show, but it's where we got Ricochet start taking everybody out, even Suicida and Jay White right to the top corner side. This is where Ricochet hit the springboard moonsault on the Hangman Adam Page. Then the springboard moonsault onto Cowboy that calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea. But this is where we got Ricochet was like, everybody's like, what is wrong with everybody? Why everybody thinks I'm the bad guy here? Which it's clearly the case right here because he's been acting quite too cocky, and also he had some horrible things to Swerve Strickland and his manager Prince Nana. So of course they're gonna boo him. Like if he's a guy that used to feud with over at the other company show on Mondays. But anyways, where we got Ricochet hits him right hands to Hangman Adam Page. This is where he started like boom, 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 and this is where we got Willa Yuta to start trying to squeeze the head of the Switchblade man. Jay White is where we got. But that's where we saw like who was number, I'll say. But that's where I saw who's number 5, if I'm not mistaken. It was none other than my boy Adam Cole, baby. That's where Jay White's like, I knew we are gonna meet in this ring, which I'll say, but instead of being allies, which as much as I would like to see that, unfortunately they would have to be rivals because this is the gauntlet match, which means it's like a fatal 4-way or 5-way match, every man for himself. But it's where Jay White's like, I'm going to get you. This is where Adam Cole ducks out of the way, hits a super kick. This is where he then hits an insecure kick onto the Hangman Adam Page, send him right to the upper right side, followed up with a super kick right into the face onto Hangman. Then hit a super kick on Willa Yuta. This is where we've seen a similar spot with Ricochet and him, like if it was like 7-8 years ago. It's where there was Ricochet trying to go for a springboard crossbody, but he ends up getting super kicked, like if it's a Heartbreak Kid, a certain Heartbreak Kid man did to Shelton Benjamin 20 years ago. But it's where Adam Cole's like, Adam Cole, baby, and it's like, yeah, gee, like it's this kind of reminds me of the developmental brand show like back like a few years ago when it was over at the other company when it was Black and Gold, which where. That's where it's Adam Cole, baby. And I was like, this time, like, it's Adam Cole's the baby face and Ricochet the heel. But it's where we got Adam Cole and try to go for, what they call, Paramount Sunriser. This is where they showed, like, when the last time Adam Cole wrestled the match with Switchblade, Jay White, and Hangman Page in the same ring. It was with them three and the bitch man, Okada, back in 2022. If I'm mistaken, for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at the first year's Forbidden Door. But it's where I found out who was number 6, and it was none other than Daniel Garcia, which everybody was cheering, got up on their feet. It's where even Matt Menard was got off his commentary chair, like, yeah, let's go, Danny! Right. Go where he took off his TNT championship. It's where we got it's where we got Daniel Garcia then went right in the ring at Adam Cole and tried to go for a clothesline, but Daniel Garcia started hitting some forearm strikes. This is where Adam Cole fired back. This is where half of the fans were cheering for Adam, while the other half were cheering for Daniel Garcia to see who's going to win. This is where Adam Cole hits a half super kick right into the leg, try to go for a brainbuster, I believe. Was it? Yeah. But somehow Daniel Garcia flips right out of it, and this is where he slams him right to the upper left side. This is where we got Daniel Garcia. We're right up on the top rope where my boy Adam Cole, baby, was coming. Hits some strikes until we got the 3. This is where we got my other boy, Switchblade Jay White, try to stop him, but unfortunately that did not happen. Daniel Garcia throws him right to the top. This is where he started hitting some right hands to the face where Hangman Adam Page grabs him right off. This is where he just started going. But this is where Daniel Garcia didn't see this to be a bother. This is where he throws him right into the mix. So he hits some right hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is where Daniel Garcia didn't do this dance pose. That's where he was like, yeah, let's do this, people. Like, even though I can be a little silly, but I still have some seriousness in me. But this is where we got Willa Yuta came in, went face to face with this guy because, like, a few years ago, they were fighting over from the Ring of Honor Peer Championship, which I don't think Willa Yuta forgot about that. That's where we got Willa Yuta slapped Daniel Garcia right across the face, but Daniel Garcia slapped him right back. They just started going for a slap off, then right to the chest. But then I think Willa Yuta got the 4th place spot. He got the 5th place spot, while Garcia got the 4th place spot of the envy list from the ring general. Ricochet did hit a backward strike, super kick onto Daniel Garcia, which that definitely got the fans booing. Like, even if they weren't genuinely booing him, if he was just turning heel for the first time, I think they would have successfully executed here tonight. But it's where they start chanting that what that Ricochet sucks. Like, he sucks absolutely. That's where we got. That's where we got Powerhouse Hobbs, was revealed as number 7. That's where nobody wasn't safe in the ring. But Willa Yuta tried to go for a clothesline. But that's where Ricochet tried to go for an attack on him, but he ends up getting tossed right to the other side. That's where we got Powerhouse Hobbs had an exploder suplex onto him. This is where Adam Cole tried to attack him, but he ended up exploder suplexing him into the Jay White as well. I'm like, like this is not gonna look good. Like, and yeah, my predictions were absolutely true. Heyman had Page tried to come in, so I hit some axe handles, but this is where we got Powerhouse Hobbs to get sent right to the bottom right side. Hangman and walking around, wobbling around, pretend to be like Powerhouse. I'm a big Powerhouse dumbass. Is where the Powerhouse. I was like, I wouldn't say that if I were you because I understand absolutely what you just said in English. And then he hits an exploder suplex on the Hangman Page with him begging for Moosey and please, like, he'll take it back, like, but it was too late for anything. He could change at this point, like, because you already insulted him, mentally, like, and not to mention physically. But this is where we got. What happens where we got Jay White? I mean, Jay Heyman Page starting some knife edge chop. Everybody in the ring to start chopping after chopping after chopping. This is where we got. But this is where we got number 10. Like, who is number 10 is where I believe it was Roderick Strong. Yeah. They were Roderick Strong to hit the backbreaker on the Hangman Adam Page. Whether you didn't try to go for a clothesline, but he ends up getting back suplex facebuster Majiggy onto a Hangman. That's where we got Roderick Strong hit the boot right to the face, or knee strike right onto Powerhouse Hobbs. That's where he tried to go for a fight right onto Ricochet. Right. That's where we got Ricochet and turned around by Daniel Garcia and what's his name, Adam Cole, right into the upper right corner side. That's where they go. This is where they start triple teaming on the Ricochet, which everybody was cheering. Both Roddy, Adam, and Ricochet. I mean, Danny Garcia to do onto the one and only one. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs then came in the ring, but this is where he gets layered by Hangman. This is where he started doing to everybody until Ricochet got back up, hit a springboard flip into a back elbow. But this is where Jay White hit a half Nelson suplex. He gets spiked right into the ring. This is where he tried to go for the Blade Runner. This is where, but it's where we got who was it? It was Ricochet to low blow Jay White right out of nowhere when the referee had his back turned. But even if he did it when it was the clear as day, he probably wouldn't have been DQ'd. But that's where we got what's his name? Will use like you don't do that to me. You understand me? Like nothing's not better than us. Like the. This was like in Ring of Honor, it's D to the A to the A to the D, dead. Like, so stop living in the past. Where that's where Lance Archer came in, like, the Murder Hog Monster. I think that that he's gonna win by choke slamming choke slamming, what's his name? Daniel Garcia. Then Ricochet tried to go for a crossbody. But Lance Archer grabs onto him and spin him around and chops him right to the side. But that's where we got one of his fellow Don Callis family members, former allies, now arch nemesis, where we got Ricochet trying to attack Powerhouse Hobbs, but he tossed him right to the side. And during the Powerhouse Hobbs was like, I agree. But we got Lance Archer that threw Ricochet right into the corner where Powerhouse Hobbs was standing. It's where they look at each other directly in the faces, where they put their. And then we got them going strike special Lance Archer along with a knee right to the midsection. This is where we got this is where he was hitting him right to the bottom left side. This is where we got a conglomeration had a member that's been pinned in the match, and it was none other than former undisputed friend and of Adam and Roddy, and that was Kyle O'Reilly that came in the match. I was like, the only person they're missing now is Bobby Fish, which I understand why. Request my wish, which I hope that does happen in the foreseeable future. But he went right to the corner, but he ends up getting attacked. This is where he gets right. But this is where we got Riddler got a moment between Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy Strong, just taking out all the guys all by themselves in the two on all situations where we got Hangman Page nearly ruined it all, but it's where he was not standing tall when he dropped the ball when he tried to go for a clothesline onto Roddy Strong, but only with him trying to go for a dead eye for Kyle O'Reilly, which his ego kind of got the better of him, and this is where we got. But this is where we got. Let's see. What else happened next? But yeah, here's where Powerhouse Hobbs and start going at it with the former Undisputed Boys now. Like we're going 3 by 3 by 3. And this is where Daniel Garcia tried to come in and help out. But it's where we had knocked out Powerhouse Hobbs and made him ticked off even more. Here's where Adam Cole did go for a super kick while Kyle O'Reilly hit the leg whip and kick while what's his name? Roderick Strong tried to go for a Claymore. This is where we got Jeff Jarrett then came out, right? Because he was entering into the what they call in the gauntlet match, but he ends up getting this is where we got what's his name? Willie you to start attacking what's his name? Attacking Jeff Jarrett right into the backstage area, just beating the hell out of him. Is where and Jeff Jarrett tried to do his best, try to come back, but he ends up it was too much for him. It's where we got. But that's where fans start chanting Undisputed, like if they're a totally different Undisputed faction name. But it's where we got one name Powerhouse Hobbs boots them right to the face, start screaming, yeah, right, we're better than the world, like, or better than anybody in the world, I should say. But it's where we got Lance Archer was about to hit the, what do they call it? But it's where we got Lance Archer got sent right into the floor, right into the outside. It's where Kyle O'Reilly started going for a very impressive leg slide kicks right into the legs and the whole body of what's his name? Powerhouse Hobbs till Powerhouse Hobbs waiting for him to go to the top corner side, hit the double A spine buster. That's where Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong and Adam Cole was too helped their fellow Undisputed Kingdom members and got the 1, 2, 3 and the winner of it, man. And finally earning himself a shot at John Moxley. Well, I'm thinking of Moxley's last name is what's it called? But this is where we got Power Tops kind of celebrated, and this is where we got probably like a full. I'm not sure exactly in particular, but I'll say 5 minute celebration in the ring. Which is where we got unmarkable Renee Paquette was finally being more remarkable. They're like it's been official, yeah. But it's where it's like next week you will be facing John Moxley, which is her husband. It's where and it'll be at what they call what's that Carnage? Maximum Carnage. That's what it's called. But it's where like you'll be facing up for the World Championship of All Elite Wrestling. And this is what she sort of clear her throat. Well, the biased opinion decides what she has. What is his thought? About this role and how is he going to defeat him for the championship? But this is where then. But this is where we got Powerhouse Hobbs then responded back with a fiery promo to be the exact. This is where then. Yeah, Renee. I've been waiting for this going this far for 4 years now. I came into shock in the world. But not only I'm doing that, I want Again, this is where they said something that was completely shocking. Like, even though like it's not a PG rated show per se, and this is where it's like he's gonna basically make John Moxley his bitch. And yeah, I did say the word, like considering like it wasn't censored, so why am I gonna make it an initial unless if I need to? But what are your thoughts on this message that he have with Moxley? And do you think he will indeed be the AEW World Champion, or do you think it's gonna be? But anyway, we got Carlos Hobbs took a handshake to Jeff Jarrett, saying like, "Sorry you didn't get a chance to compete into this gauntlet match, but but he's like, but welcome to AEW like always." Was where then Jeff Jarrett then came out because he have plenty to say to Mister Dust. Well, everybody got Christian Cage and vignette where Hook next, like who attacked Hook's father Taz, which we all know who did, but where we got Jeff Jarrett was in the interview with Alex Marvez. This is what Jeff Jarrett got suggestions more about his future planning for his last run in AEW, and it was revealed that this deal's only been for another 12 months. And I was like, I would expect it to be another 5 years is the shortest in the bare minimum. And this one, Jeff Jarrett asked the question like for the last 40 years, like I think like he lost himself, but he did. Can you ask me this question? Like, do I ever lost my touch? But it's where we started. Then came out and interrupting. Who was the former AEW World Champion himself, Mr. Maxwell Jacob Freeman. It's where then. But it's where then Maxwell Jacob Freeman came out because this is where then he had plenty of things to say to the legendary wrestler when it comes to respect or like insulting. But it's where it's like it's where MJF is like, I don't think you ever been in the same room as me. Like, this where then he called him an old prick. Like he's like, get the hell out of my ring. This where it's like, yeah, Jeffrey. Like Jeffrey, I don't think you have the honor and the privilege of meeting me. You're looking at the longest and greatest AEW World Champion of all times. And again, this where MJF very companies Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and then it's like and just to remind you, it stands for M, and then the initials are MJF, and it's where then MJF was like, yeah, and I want my triple B back, but it seemed like that the world title scene, I guess, is getting that too much of work, and that dictator John Moxley has my belt, and I was like, yeah, like this is definitely like 2020 all over again, and maybe it wasn't him being ready then, but he's ready to become a main event level champion, even if it's as prestigious as some mid card championship. But this is where we got. But this is where we got Jeff Jarrett. And, this is where then MJF then poke fun at the Double J wrestler. This is where he's at. Anyway, like, and technically, you're the number one contender due to your failure here tonight because check here, we don't remember you got by Willie. What is that? You got attacked by what's his name? But by Willie Yuta. This is where the commentators corrected him. This is where we got he's like. And this is like a Dr. Seuss story that everybody say they could be the one to be the come out in front of me when for that championship for my triple B. This is where like we got the likes of Adam Copeland, we got the likes of Christian and other. It was like check those like. And it was like, and he pointed out that he got beaten up by these guys before. Like it's a regular It's a regular Dr. Seuss's nightmare. Like, none of these men are even close to wordiness of holding a triple B. Like, but you got like think of a man that just might be ready for that. Like a man that has been beaten one of the most icons in the history of this industry, and it's like it is the man that been giving his blood, sweat, and tears in this game for plus 35 years, and he's a 12-time, dozen-time world champion. And he's like, and Tennessee's no like Double J himself, Jeff Jarrett. And this is where they were exactly in his home state of Tennessee. This is where we got, but this is where the fans are chanting for Jeff Jarrett. This is what MJF's like. It's where the MJF then poked fun and made a joke saying like obviously I had to Google that like a normal young current day person would say what a person would do not an ancient dinosaur, and that's why I started dying with laughter. I was like, even if you're trying to be one, like I don't think it would ever work because considering you don't have a prehistoric character. Uh, yeah, but right. Maybe like he admitted that his father was a huge fan of Jeff Jarrett growing up as a kid. And he's like, and we know world champion before, but what he said last week about signing your last wrestling contract, like the clock that rolling is ticking like crazy. Like I've done some digging as well. Like you have not been completely honest with all these people, like a Bradley Bub, and then this is where then he didn't continue with Jeff Jarrett. I think like the contract he used that only like for one more year, and that's what the MJF then point fun at Jeff Jarrett's his 1 year deal. Like they're like, oh, I'm not supposed to say that, right? Or give out like when exactly when the time is my contract doesn't expire is like a. But they're like, oh, like I'm not supposed to say that, Jeffrey, but the reason why it's much embarrassing right now, because that's not what you want exactly, is it? Like, you don't want to retire yet, do you, Jeffrey? Like, you have to sign that contract, because that's all it's gonna professional wrestler that you got left to give back to them. Is where them, but it's where the MJF's like, I hate to be be the guy that's gonna burst everybody's bubbles in here. Like I'm trying to tell the truth and be honest as much as I can. Like I'm not trying to burst your bubbles, Mister Jarrett. And then this where then after he made his excuses, this where then this is where we got. Let's see. Um, but this is where we got. Let's see what MJF said on the promo. Like we got. He's like, you don't want to retire, do you yet, Jeffrey? Like, you have to sign a contract because that's what all professional wrestlers think you got left to give in this business. And the fans are like, that's not true. If that was the case, like, you wouldn't have to see here in a company that's called Total Stop Nonstop Action, or even or be a fan favorite before. But this is what MJF said. Like, I'm not here to hinder you. I'm trying to help you. Where like, but you only got 1 year to prove that you still got it, and you're still main event material. Everyone fans are mocking MJF by chanting that Jeff Jarrett does still got it, but they were being serious about like how he still got the titles where he starts smiling, like because it's absolutely, he knows it's absolutely true. That's where MJF was like, you got over 12 months away from proving that what you got proved. Like I could easily make you a world champion for one more time. He's like, without my help, like you probably wouldn't even want a match. Like, and this is where he started chuckling and laughing because he is an evil, like, heart-rated SOB. But it's where the MJF can point out this, like, what he is, and he's the salt of the earth. But it's where it's like, and this where he's like, and if when and that's what it what's that he told Jeff Jarrett and since I let you hold on to my Triple B championship, I am ready to win my world win my world championship. And he's like, I might ask this favor since I am the final boss. I'm talking about, I mean, since I am the salt of the earth, well, I'm not even saying right now, but it's where he did start mocking Jeff Jarrett by spelling his name like JEFF JARRETT. That's where fans are chanting and maybe some very some too far languages, which it made MJF shout. You once you shut the hell up, like this where then Jeff Jarrett then like 1 second is where then Maxwell like. But it's where the MJF, Jeff Jarrett was like, yeah, you're right, Maxwell. Like you were a former AEW champ, you held the title for the longest. Like that's very impressive. Like he named like what the specific days are. He's like, and that's really good. But what the bad thing is, like just like you said, like you were the longest reigning world heavyweight champion, like as all time is coming. That's a very impressive record. Like, but you're still too damn young to understand this. Like, did you learn a lot more from your failures than you did your successes? I want to may ask you. Like, this is where then you like that's because like you were all top before. Like doesn't mean that you're gonna get back in easily. Like as a matter of fact, do you know Richard, kids are likely around here, like guys like this scumbag, like and that is a one hit wonder. This word and fans like that. Yeah, that's the correct word to use. This word is like yeah, like I know where the world where I'm at, and this word and it, here when they start shouting something like that, they normally would say to Jeff J. This where then it's MJF, this to the expensive MJF, like because he was being heel into the segment, like obviously, like everything. That's where then we got what Jeff Jarrett made a joke about about everybody saying with the fans are chanting one hit wonders word and yeah what's his name Jeff Jarrett's like yeah that one hit wonder like it has a very nice impressive T-shirt like it right in the sky, Max. Like I know the world that I had to go down, like not trying to be hitting rock bottom, like not comfortable at rock bottom right now. Like this business is not only this business, like but life has put me right down rock bottom. And I'm not talking about that guy that is the final boss, hit me with that maneuver, but it's where he's like, but like God come here to crawl and scratch and then come back to my back in the position into the top of the mountain. That's where like, and as for you, Maxwell, like tonight, like you have the opportunity to enter the Casino Gauntlet match. But what do you choose to do? Like you choose to come out here and steam and connive. Like that's the good or Mr. Friedman. Like I'm looking for number 13 in 2025. And he's like, and then like that old expression goes, like, what a difference that a year can make. Because I sure as hell is going to be making the most of it in the year 2025. And that's where then here Jeff Jarrett didn't say, like, yeah, I'm coming down for this. That's where like, and then quite frankly, I don't need you, Mr. Friedman. Like as far as you out here, God, like in this word, then he called him an entitled prick before he leave the building. Is where he threw the what they call the what they call the microphone right onto him, like bam. And it's where then I was like, whoa, like I've never seen nobody out talk MJF before. Like this is the first time, like way too new for your favorite Super Ninja Assassin, but do you think this is going to be the next feud? And if so, are you well invested into Maxwell Jacob Friedman taking on the Double J wrestler, which is Jeff Jarrett? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But moving on, Uncanny X Slide is where we got. But this is where we got the rated R superstar Adam Copeland that came out. After that is where it's where the Adam Copeland, like, it's been a while since the last time I come on social. And it's where the it is like in every cup, like they're trying to like this is where then he starts saying stuff sad, tragical stuff. Like this was like this is like made like yeah, this was like yeah, I keep grinding as a world champion. But here's what I will say, folks: like no one, and I will repeat that nobody is gonna be having fought through exactly what I fought through just to stand here in this very ring. But this wasn't Adam Copeland or Cope, I should say. He's like I'm getting tired of standing up in that heel, and I'm a totally different animal that's released. That's a man that broke his neck. Yeah, you're looking at a man that broke his neck against Eddie Guerrero. And then this where then he continued, like, and you know exactly what I did, ladies? Like, I got right back up. Like, I wrestled 20 more minutes, and I won that particular match. And I nearly almost won his wife over, which y'all say that's a different story for a different day. But this where it's like he's a man that I saw, just saw look at the same man that beat Malachi but in that barbed wire steel cage match. I broke my leg in the process, and that's what kept him out for over a half a year. It was like, you know what, you know exactly what I did, ladies and gentlemen, here in attendance. It's where he didn't shout like he got right back up after a few fans. Then start saying like, okay, like I don't know why, but it's where we got Cope was like, yeah, that match, John, like, yeah, I mean, you may have those bastards that's right beside that never been in his ring. Like, what exactly can you do to me that hasn't been done before by anybody? It's where then it looked very like convincingly intimidating. Like with the where the Death Riders came out, and then yeah, this is where he definitely gave me the willies. Like I'll say the very the very negative willies, I guess you could say, but with creeping ninjas where they weren't really creep. They weren't really creepy. This is where we got the rated R superstar was not really creepy. He only cared about was trying to take down every member of the Death Riders after mentioning John Moxley's name over 4,000 times. This is where we got. But this is where we got. But that's where we got. This is where we got the FTR and took out the minions of John Moxley. This is where the rated R superstar took care of John Moxley. Like if he's actually fighting him for the world championship, this is where he tried to go for a spear, but it's where we got me and Shafir grabbing onto the leg of Adam Copeland. Like after this is where then this is where that's where Adam Copeland Cope stopped from helping John Moxley, grabbing the championship belt out of the briefcase. It's where Adam Copeland was like, "Good you right now, little girl." It's where we got. It's where that I'm not sure what exactly Daddy Magic Mike Menard said told or Cope to do to Marina Shafir. I'm not sure if he said smack or spank, but was saying like it could be either one. Like which I was like I'm not sure. And that's our laughing dying with laughter with the bronze trophy of the night he's gonna be getting, which is for Goofy Wrestling. And the other commentators like, no, I don't think it's a good idea. I was like, yeah, maybe it's not a good idea because Cope got a wife, which she used to be a wrestler, while Marina Shafir has a husband that also wrestles as well. But it's where we got the bastard pack, then whacked the back of the head of Cope with the briefcase right in the back of his head. This is where then we got Claudio throws Uncle Cash the Flash in there. This is where we got. But this is where we got what's his name? Pack was like, what we're gonna do now, Colt, this is where John Moxley hit is where they could choke out the rated R superstar, which he managed to do so. This is where the guy teased that And that's what exactly they're teasing that could be like another guy that they are gonna take out, like with like he did to Darby Allin, but luckily, something just changed his mind when he was about to hit the second time. But no, this is where we got it was Powerhouse Hobbs, which Powerhouse Hobbs promised that Moxley's gonna be his biscuit iced tea chicken hot cakes, which he didn't exactly say that, but this is where Hobbs and took out his suspenders off his onesie. This is where he scared off the cowardly faction of the heels. But this is where we got. But this is where we move on to the next slide. But what are your thoughts onto this? Onto the feud with everybody trying to get a piece of John Moxley's AEW World Championship. And do you think that it's the most hottest championship of AEW right now, or what are your opinions onto this matter? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. And yeah, and who do you think is gonna walk out of what's that called? What's the name of the? I'm trying to think what the name of the maximum carnage. Yeah, but it's where we got. Here's where we got a triple threat match with the women's what they call get the top seed of the gauntlet match for next week's what they call the and like yeah till next week's maximum carnage show. This is where we got. But it's where we got. That's where we got. What's her name? Mariah May and send a message on. She don't care who exactly gonna win next week. They're just gonna be just another victim that just like the last one that came in and tried to challenge her for the championship. It's where she was like, and this is where she promised the whoever woman that's gonna win, they're gonna she gonna cut the strings and die. This is where then. This is where Harvey Cameron was like, "Yeah, excellent." This is where Mariah May was like I'm rolling. This is where she's like, "Yeah, I know." And this is where I started cracking up with her getting the blue ribbon of the. This is where she's like, "How about we give him an appetizer?" With right at AW Collision is where I was like, oh, don't tell me this is gonna be a face turn with her being in a short program with Mariah May, which I'll be absolutely all in for this because since Soraya's not gonna be in AEW for a while, there's no point of keeping Harley Cameron like stranded in the mid card, the lower mid card division. This would. And then Mariah May's like, you're not getting a women's world title shot, Harley. You don't deserve. This word that you like, it's fine. Like, if we'll do a non-title match, it'll be Harley versus Mariah. This where Mariah, like I see, I mean, like that won't be a bad idea for the show. Like, yeah, like how about we go that way? And then, like, I will whip your head off, like, and then you, and this where Harvey Cameron's like, and then you're and this is what Harvey Cameron is like, and you're gonna feel, and this is where she started mumbling a couple times. But this is where and this is where Mariah May's like, I can't understand. This is where she shouted off like this. It's like you're gonna, and then she was like you're gonna feel the wrath. And then this is where this is where she shouted that right. And this is where Harvey Cameron like, Mariah May's like, and then you. He's like, you're gonna feel the right. This is where I start dying with laughter when she said this. I was like, yeah, blue ribbon of goofy wrestling, which that's the thing that was on tonight's AEW. Is where Mariah May was like, whatever she said, but yeah, she's gonna be the one actually gonna feel the wrath when I rip her head off and decapitate her when she's gonna be a headless. A headless girl that just couldn't keep her mouth shut, but only when she gets her entire head detached, I guess you could say. But this is where we get Tony Storm and Kristen Statlander, which are really about to freak out because it was Kristen and I was hoping that you would not powerbomb yours truly. But this is where we got Willow the Pillow Nightingale, which I guess she's the one that keeps this match secure, and hopefully that she'll be the underdog favorite and actually win. But this is where then we got Tony Storm like, "Hey, Kristen, I'm so much of a fan of you." This is where that you shook hands with Willow. She was like, "Yeah, like I'm also like a fan of yours as well." This is where then she tried to trick Willow, try to play along with her, but I think it was too soon. She did a bit too soon because she gets hit with a roll up, and it's where Tony then went up to Kristen right after she had a roll up on her, but it's where she kicked out of it. This is where we got Kristen tried to go for a wheelbarrow rope on Tony, but it's where she tried to go for a spear on the Tony, but it's where Tony moves her right to the upper left corner side. It's where Willow tried to go for a shoulder tackle, but it's where we got Willow to go for a cartwheel. This is where she got for Ikigiri, where we get went right to the left corner side. It's where Tony goes for an attack, but it's where she goes for a slide. That's where we got Tony go for a cartwheel. That's where we got Willow to go for a shoulder tackle. This is where Willow go to the left corner side. Tony go for a slide, Doug. Then try to go for a hip toss on the Willow, but it's where Willow, but rather try to go for a body woman slayer. Anyway, we got. This where she hit the spine buster on. That's where Willow the Pillow hit the spine buster onto the former TIT girl, but now she's back in her rock and roll persona, which was Tony Storm. Is where we got Kristen try to go for a pin, but this is where Willow kick out of it. This is where we got. And then we got Chris Allen try to go for a power drop. But this is where we got Willow the Cat try to go for one of her own. But this is where we keep and go for a headlock on the Kristen. But this is where we got Kristen to try to find a way to get out of it by dipping Willow right to the top corner side and to the bottom. This is where she tried to go for a shoulder attack, but she ends up getting tackled by the Pillow herself. But this is where we got Tony then try to go for an attack, but this is where she stormed right out back in the outside, but it's in the right side near the barrier. I mean the what's it called, the announce table is where Kristen tried to go for a headlock, but it's where she gets thrown right to the bottom corner side. She ended up getting shoulder tackled by by Kristen. Here's where Tony tried to attack her, but this is where she ends up storming right back. This is where she's like, there's something that there's nothing clicking right here. This is where I started cracking up. Like this is why like she's the best in the women's division next to these girls and Mercedes Moné and who else? That's the best. And and Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker DMD as well. I cannot forget. But this is where we got Kristen and go for a arm with a wrist lock right on the Pillow. This is where but Tony finally found like one way to hit a crossbody onto the former the two TBS champions. This is where we got the former three-time AEW Women's Champion trying to go for a sunset for powerbomb. But this is where Pillow then goes for a catapult and hits Kristen right into the place you do not want to get hit at, right into I guess in the family's I guess you say holders, I guess you could say the family holder. Like with Tony's head, like slingshotting right down there with Willow catapulting her right. Everybody's just like, this is where the Willow then start doing this, like she's a bodybuilder, like with her going side to side by checking her hand. It's where then it was went to the partial powerful force in all the professional wrestling, and that is the commercial break, like which is the picture-in-picture version, is where she goes for a headlock right onto the Tony, but it's where she gets Jawbreaker. This is where we got Willow and Tony then took it on the outside. It's where we got anyway, Tony then start going for the snapmares after snapmare rolls right onto both Willow and Kristen. This is where then we got that's where Tony then managed to throw was it Kristen right back in the ring? I believe so. I think it was both women actually. Everywhere we got but that's where we got Willow that got back in control after the adverts went on. This is where she stacked up both Kristen and Tony right to the into the bottom right corner side. Is where she made me happy and proud when she hits my finisher, actually, not signature no more. And it was the Sass Valley Driver, which is the most dominating move in all of professional wrestling. This is where we got the Pillow wrestler and picks up the former AEW Women's Champion. This is where she tried to go for a Dr. Bomb, but Tony counted it into a Jawbreaker. This is where then we got Kristen Statlander picks up Tony and try to go for what they call electric chair face bust maneuver. This is where Tony hits a German suplex. This is where Tony then try to grab on the Pillow, but this is where Pillow goes for a boot. But this is where Kristen hits a discus lariat. This is where we got Tony to try to go for clothesline, but this is where she dips that under right to the upper left corner side is where we got Willow and this is where Willow got both Kristen and Tony with a double German suplex on the both women. This is where Willow's like, I just cannot believe I literally just did that. And this is where then Willow's like, okay, like I'm just like 1 win away. This is where she tried to go for a suplex right onto Kristen, but this is where Kristen tried to go for a wheelbarrow. But this is where Statlander counter and break up the pin. It's where we got Kristen and go for like I believe try to go for the Saturday Night Fever, but it's Wednesday Night Fever, considering this was Dynamite. It's where Willow tried to go for a Dr. Bomb, and where Christian managed to throw Willow out of the ring. That's where she hits the Wednesday Night Fever onto Tony to get the 1-2-3 and lead up in the number one seed of the Advantage match. That's where we got a post match segment with the unmarkable Renee Paquette, which somehow she got started getting more better than she was ever before. This is where they're asking questions that are absolutely needed, which I still think they're kind of biased at the same time a little bit. But it's where we got Tony was like, yeah, like I understand why I keep calling myself Tony Time. Why I couldn't even make it my time to beat like two of the best women in here in AEW. And you're like, well, like it's probably not my night, and I think it's gonna stay that way for a while until I find my footing here. But this is where then she walked out of there. This is where then Renee Paquette did the shrug emoji. Was like, okay, like. But I also heard that what's her name? Renee Paquette was out due to I'll say what was it? But there's the reason why. I think it was because she was kind of sick, was it? Yeah, which I'm glad that she's doing okay, seriously, and in seriousness, but in character, like she was lucky. But this is where we got. I don't know why I even said that, but this is where my boy, this guy right here on my T-shirt. This is where we finally saw the cleaner, the god of pro wrestling, and what else he calls himself, the leader of the elite or something like that, and not the alpha, was that? But it was basically Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega that made his return. That's where then. It's very way all the fans right in front row and the kids and stuff like that. And we're doing a wave of high fives to them. Is where we got Kenny Omega then went directly inside the squared circle. Is where then Kenny Omega then went and got right on the microphone. Is where you're like, where he's like. It's where fans are chanting, Kenny, 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 and this is where it's like, yeah, thank you, I miss you guys. And this is where he started explaining like why he's been absent for over a year. This is where he's like, over a year ago, like I didn't feel good, like, and I went to the hospital and I had some bad news, like, and I was diagnosed with a sickness called diverticulitis, which that's no joke. And this is where he's like, he admit that the doctor told like, and if. And he's like, and for those that are unaware and don't know who that is, like it took two of my intestines from me, like that to check. And when I checked myself, then like the doctor told me, like, well, Kenny, like if I didn't came up soon, like I just did, or if I didn't came any, if I came any later, like I would have been dead. Like, and this where it's like this been as cold as like, but like. And this was like this was like, and he's like, and despite the two successful surgeries that I gotten from it, like I had a couple of questions to ask, like one to the doctor. Well, he said like 2 questions, like number one, doc, like, well, like how long is recovery gonna be by ass? And then number two, like when is it that I can get back in a ring? Which he be mentioning that on his post on social media, which well, I'm glad we are finally seeing them, and there's a miracle, like God's good gracious, like then turn this man his health around, and he like finally made his return, like, and it took just about like 13 months later, but it was all worth it. But it's where we got Kenny Omega continued like with him. They like, and the doctor told me like, well, Kenny, like, it's like this was like this where he told him you'll be lucky if you're gonna come back here in a normal way of life. Like if you do survive off of this diverticulitis, like so you gotta be thinking about your livelihood before you can think about your wrestling life. But and this where the Kenny Omega's like, well, like maybe like after hearing those doctors' words, like maybe giving up was the safest option. Like, but no, like when I consider that option, what purpose do I even have if I do quit this? Like, what purpose do I have of this plan if I don't have you people like right in front of me? And that's where the fans start saying, like, yeah, you make a good, absolutely point. This is where he's like, and then a few days ago, he tested that theory like very well, and he found his purpose in Tokyo, Japan. Like just like he found his purpose here in that very building of AEW. Like this is where like. Like, and if I'm not in this ring, like in front of you people, like every single week, like giving you every single thing that I have, like if I'm not telling you guys that Kenny Omega can be the best, like, but he can't be the god of professional wrestling, and then I am not living. Like, so I may not be the same guy, even though I can't do things that I used to be able to do. Like in this new version of Kenny, like that, not gonna be a concern about money, not even concerned about power. Like in the one that's not even concerned about revenge. Like and this version of Kenny Omega can still prove like that he is like he's the best that he's ever. But before he can even say finish his sentence, is where he gets interrupted by a very familiar face, like that used to associate with the cleaner himself, and that was Mr. Donald Castle. And this is where I was not expecting what Kenny Omega's reaction was to this. This is where Kenny Omega then looked right back at the fans, looked right on Callis, is where he's like, okay, like Donald Callis is here. Why should do this? Where fans are. And that's where we got Donald Callis then try to say like, well, look who's back here. This is where then Kenny Omega did not care. This is where he then directly went right after him, just attacked him like boom, hit him with a big right hand with Excalibur. Saying like, this is the first time I saw like somebody laid out Donald Castle, Donald Callis. Why am I even talking about Donald Callis? And this is why I was like, yes, finally. And this is why I started cheering, started doing the dance of joy. I was like, finally, somebody stood up to this prick. Like, which like I understand why everybody think he was the most dominating man, like in professional wrestling. Like, but luckily Omega thinks otherwise. Ever since like almost 2 years ago, where he stabbed him right in the back of his head with that screwdriver. Like he finally stood up to him, and this is where I started saying, like, yes, like it's been exactly almost 2 years since the last time somebody did something like this to this guy. But it's where Kyle Fletcher and Brian Cage and Lance Archer came in and started triple teaming poor Kenny Omega, sent him right to the ring. That's where we got them holding him. That's where Kyle Fletcher had his big right hand right to Omega. It's where we got Brian Cage doing the same when. And Kyle and Archer was doing it, holding him down. Is where then we got. He knocked him out. This is where we got Brian Cage and try to go for was that the power bomb, but this is where they get scared off by a former rival of Omega's. This is where it was none other than you will not believe who it exactly was, and it was Will Ospreay that came in and scared off everybody that was attacking Omega in the ring. This is where once they took care of the heels, is where they went face to face with each other. Well, actually, it was Ospreay that was right into the. Well, at first they were in the face to face where Kenny Omega was like, what you're doing here? This was like, I came to help you because like I cannot stand them like thinking that they can run AEW and try to take out guys like you and me. This is where Kenny Omega's like you and me, like guys, like what kind of world am I? And this is why I was like, yeah, we're definitely not in Toto anymore, Kansas, because this is that we would never thought that Ospreay and Kenny Omega would ever join forces. I guess AEW is like the other company, and they're probably going to be using that term very shortly, I guess you could say too. And that is never say never. Like anything is possible if you only just believe, I guess you could say. But it's where they confirmed that Kenny Omega will indeed be facing Brian Cage. And this is where I start That's where I start shouting to Anthony Conte. Thank you, Anthony. Like you're giving us what we want. This is where then we got this is where we got Christian Cage then taking on Hook, and then we got Powerhouse Hobbs will indeed be taking on John Moxley for the AEW World Championship. And yeah, this is what. And this is where then yeah, everything booked for next week's what they call Maximum Carnage, even though they're gonna be in the worst city of the United States, which I kind of understand why, because it's on John Moxley's home turf. But that's where all the disgusting toxic water is gonna be, and then that's gonna be very gross. But that's where we got the women's gauntlet, casino gauntlet match. We'll see who's gonna be facing Mariah May at AEW Grand Slam in Australia. But who do you think is going to win these three matches next week? Which are going to be very exciting, but not so much of the city because it's the worst city. Like the complete opposite of where they were at for Winters coming a month ago, December 11th. Yeah, when they were in the best city of the United States, where my boys, the back-to-back Chiefs, are located at. But it's where we got. This is where Will Ospreay managed to walk out right up on the stage. This is where Kenny Omega was about to say something on the microphone. He's like, what the heck? This is where he waited until like until the camera stopped rolling for him to say something on the microphone, like, which I guess we're gonna be hearing like on the wrestling news probably like in the next day or two, I guess. But that's how AEW Dynamite closed the show. And what was your thoughts on Dynamite? Which I would say it was pretty interesting. We got a couple of new rivalries that ended with one of them being exactly MJF and Jeff Jarrett, which you could potentially have a match down the lines. But when do you think that could? When do you think that could happen? And who do you think is going to be over? And do you think that Jeff Jarrett is still main event world championship material? Let me know all about that in the comments down below. But yeah, I guess that'll be it for today. And I would say I'll give AEW Dynamite. I'd say it wasn't so bad, but it was still like if it was just a normal episode. But if they just lowered down into an hour, like if they were replacing Rampage. So I would say maybe 4 even stars, even though we got a really good women's triple threat match, which was Silver Trophy, and we got the return of my boy Kenny Omega, which that was probably the main highlight of the night, which I would give it not only just any give it the golden trophy of the best moment of the night, but I'll say the platinum trophy, especially with him going after Don Callis and standing up to him and showing that he's not afraid of him or like you're not going to kiss his rear end. And he shouldn't have laid his hands by stabbing him right in the back with that screwdriver back when the last time he was an active wrestler. And yeah, and Kenny Omega did a very phenomenal job like at AEW Wrestle Dynasty. Yeah, when he had that match against Gabe Kidd, which I thought it was for the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But despite that, it still was a great contest. And I hope that we will be seeing more of him in the foreseeable future without any delays. Next week we will be seeing him in action because he will be facing the Machine, Brian Cage. And we all know who is exactly going to be winning that match in this long-awaited, I'll say, in AEW television. I'll say 13 months of absence. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope y'all enjoyed the show. And let me know in the comments for those who watch. Let me know how y'all feel about AEW Dynamite. I just thought I might give y'all what I thought on my point of view and what I think, which I think on most of the time, like with the gauntlet match, and I'll say in the women's like getting ready for the women's version of the gauntlet match, which they had the men's, and then we got teams of tag team competition, which even though I think Bobby and Sheldon should wait until like we're not really doing much in singles action or even main event, then move them over to the main roster level. Yeah. Or not main roster. I mean, move them to the tag team level. I should say, I'm thinking of the other company. I don't know what I mean. I'm getting kind of tired right here. But even though I got a couple things to work with right now, but I'm in today's wrestling review video right here on this note, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And if so, please make sure to hit the big thumbs up button and consider hit the subscribe and the post notification bell for more SNA videos. And also make sure to check out my wrestling news video up next, which I'm going to be talking about what exactly is going on in the world of professional wrestling with the wildest and intriguing news stories and rumors that you assassinators need to know. But But yeah, it's gonna be on my boys, them What Culture guys, like which is gonna be What Culture Wrestling, which I give a shout out to all of them, including my boy Simon J. Miller. Like, but we're gonna say bye bye to you guys now, and I'll see you all on that video. And ever since I've been doing some outside podcast business, I've been noticed that I've been not been have enough time doing it in the afternoon, so I make it up for doing it after the review video. I after I watch the wrestling shows, where I'm not going to be able to worry about doing that tomorrow because I'm only going to be talking about football stuff on the Yahoo Sports article, which I'm gonna advertise on the next video, which that's wrestling news up next. So stay tuned for some more SNA wrestling podcast content. I don't know why I just said podcast for. But until we see each other again, Super Ninja Austin will be out of there, and I will see you guys there. And make sure to stay safe, my friends. And I will see you guys soon.